butter crunch, 88, Oshkosh, and blue and white dust, ask the blunt.
Sky is the limit and you know that you keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want. Sky is the limit and you know that you keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky is the limit and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want, have what you want, be what you want.
I was ashamed, my crew was lame.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass?
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go. The earth is a closed system.
The earth is a closed system.
We cannot leave the earth.
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 The earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth.
In this tutorial, I'm going to briefly discuss the difference between an open system, a closed system, and an isolated system. So let's start with an open system. So I'm going to draw an open container with water. So the stuff inside is the system, in this case the water. Now, in an open system, you need to realize that mass, or basically matter, can flow into and out of an open system. So like oxygen gas, it can enter and it can leave the system. Now the second thing is energy. Energy such as heat or even light can flow out of or into the system as well. And so that's an open system. Both energy and matter can flow into or out of such a system. In a closed system, in this case I'm going to draw a sealed container. Matter cannot flow into or out of a closed system. So oxygen gas from the air cannot enter. So I'm just going to put an X. However, heat energy can flow out of or into the system. So a closed system is not insulated to heat. Heat can easily flow into or out of the system.
The earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the earth. There's no place to go. The earth is a closed system.
The earth is a closed system.
We cannot leave the earth.
Place of my rest. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass?
So I'm just out in my yard. A lot of people forget that you can create your own rainbow if you just turn on a sprinkler. And if the sun is angled the right way, only when you're outdoors, you will get a rainbow. So that's the first question. Why can you not simulate a rainbow indoors? There's a stipulation. You can create a rainbow indoors, but you need a mirror.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass?
When a beam of light hits a piece of glass straight on, it passes right through it. But the waves that make up the light actually get slowed down by the glass and only go back to their normal speed when they come out the other side. That slowing down is what causes white light to split into a rainbow of colour whenever it hits glass on an angle. It happens because glass slows some colours of light more than others, and because slowing down on an angle makes light bend. It's easy to understand the bending if you picture how the light waves would look from above, like how waves at the beach look if you see them from the air. And while white light's made up of all the different colours of light, it also helps to look at them one colour at a time. When a wave front of red light hits glass on an angle, the part of the wave that enters the glass first gets slowed down before the rest, and that changes the angle of the whole wave, like how waves bend around a cliff. Violet light gets slowed down even more by glass, so its waves bend more. All the other colours get bent somewhere in between. So the colours get separated when they first enter the glass on an angle, and they spread out even more when they speed up on an angle as they leave. The reason the different colours slow down different amounts in glass is because they've got different wavelengths.
Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass? My rest, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong and as a molten looking glass?
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. Keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith.
When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.